What's up guys, back in another Konosuba video, and in today's video we are going to be going over the legendary characters and ranking them in a tier list. Now, if you are playing on the global version, you're probably going to notice that Wiz, Megami, and Chris are not out yet. That is because Wiz and Megami should be coming out soon, and Chris will probably be the next one after that. So I wanted to include them because they are pretty much in global's radar of coming out next, and I don't think Iris and Yin Yin get to be in here quite yet because they're quite a bit away. But since Wiz and Megami are next and Chris is after that, probably, if I had to guess, a couple months, maybe 3, 4, 5, depending on how quick they want to give us Chris. Anyway, doesn't really matter when they come out, they're next 3, so I wanted to include them to give you guys a better idea of where the legendary characters that we have stand, if you should go about pulling them, if you should worry about the newer ones, whatnot, all that good stuff. But before we get into the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. As always, I make Konosuba content every single day, except for, you know, rare exceptions. But yeah, pretty much it. Let's get into the video. So I just want to say off rip, I don't think any of the units will be in dust tier. If you don't know what dust tier is, it's just D rank. I just like to be funny because I'm not a big fan of dust, and that's why they're just here for a placeholder at the moment. I don't think any of these legend characters are bad. They're definitely going to age not the greatest, some of them at least. Some of them are going to age very, very well, but a few of them are not going to age too well because of what they do. Now, let me go over that real quick. So, let's start off with Konosuba. So, Konosuba is the lightning type, and he does 105 lightning physical damage and 131% if the target is debuff. Now, good thing about legendary characters is even if they're not a mage, they will do elemental basics, and they normally have a quick little debuff or buff or whatever attached to their basic attack, which is really, really nice. Then his second skill is 122 single target lightning physical damage, 158 if above 7% HP, and a tier 3 physical attack debuff for 12 seconds. Pretty good. Just, you know, lower their defense, do more damage if you have more HP. Pretty simple. Then he has 179 single target lightning physical damage, 242 if the target is debuff. Pretty easy because his first skill has a debuff and a self tier 2 agility buff for 16 seconds. And then of course he has the Pride and True, Konosuba, Snipe, and then Drain Touch ults. And then since they're legendary characters, their EX skills do a bit more. Konosuba does 9% instead of 6% attack up when you use Mental Link. So overall, pretty good. The main issue with Konosuba that I have is he lowers defense, gets his agility up. He's not really supporting the team too much. I mean, the defense debuff is nice, but he's definitely one of those units that over time, when we get stronger hitters, he's pretty much going to fade out. I'm not saying he's bad. He's insanely good. He's top of the meta for lightning, but in, you know, the scope of things, over time he will eventually die down as we get harder hitters. It's a lot easier to replace a hard hitting unit than it is to replace a unit that has a ton of utility. Now, next up, we're going to go over Aqua, who is a great example of this utility. So, legendary Aqua does 105% water physical attack and a small party heal. So the small party here on her basic attack is insanely good, especially for staying alive in the harder fights. Then her first skill is 149 single target water physical attack and a party 6-second cooldown reduction, which is insanely good compared with her second skill, which is a 170 single target water physical damage, 228 if above 7% HP. Pretty easy with her basic attack healing you, and a party 10% ultimate gauge charge. So pop the gauge charge, you pop the second skill, the gauge charge is going to be coming back to faster because of the cooldown reduction, and while you're waiting, you're doing water damage, so it can be effective by, you know, just being a type advantage or having red shred up as well. And, you know, boom, you get your ultimate gauge charge back, you use it again, paired with Aqua's God Blow, which increases her agility, so she's going to be able to attack more times, or her healing ult, where she's just going to heal the whole party and do water damage. Very, very nice. Her EX skill also boosts her gauge up, so she gets her gauge even faster. Very, very good unit. Aqua is still pretty good on the JP version today, from my understanding. So, as you can see with how much utility she gives, she has a lot longer lifespan than Cosma. Next up, we have Darkness. Now, Darkness has aged a little bit on the JP version, but personally, I think she is really, really good. Still, especially on the global version, mostly because you get to use her in dungeon, and on the global version we don't really have any other unit that can take hits like she can. So Legendary Darkness has a 93% light physical damage and a self tier 2 physical defense buff for 6 seconds. Very good on her basic attack. She pretty much always has defense buff up as long as you're getting her attacks off and you're not waiting to use them. Then she has a self 30% ultimate gauge charge and a party tier 2 physical defense buff for 12 seconds. Very nice, helps the team stay healthy. 30% is very, very big when paired with her Veneer Mask ult. Then she has a 151 single target light physical damage, 211 if below 50% HP, and a party tier 2 agility buff for 12 seconds. Very strong. You know, paired with Aqua, gives her the agility. Aqua gets the basic attack and heal more. Darkness gets to attack and keep her self tier 2 physical defense buff up. And actually does pretty good damage, especially if you're low on HP, and her EX skill is attack up and heal on action used. Now the thing with Darkness is you're probably never going to use her first two ults, which are the damage reductions one, and then I believe the first one is just defense up. If I remember correctly, I don't exactly remember the exact difference between the two, but I'm pretty sure it's just damage reduction. They're pretty much irrelevant to this Darkness. You're going to use the mask so she can hit her attacks. She also doesn't always hit her attacks because it's Darkness. Fortunately, her being legendary doesn't really help her, but I think she's still really good. When we get more units who either just do way more damage than she does or can take a hit better or almost as good, she probably won't see as much use, but for right now she's pretty much just easy win for the dungeon and doing really good damage in light arena. Next up, we have Megumi, who looks really good, by the way. 113 fire physical damage. She, for some reason, doesn't have a skill on her basic attack. Not sure if that's a typo or anything, but yeah. Also kind of weird that it's a physical attack, but we'll ignore that. Then she does 133 single target fire magic damage, 173 if above 7% HP, and a tier 3 self magic attack buff for 16 seconds. Very, very good for when she fires off her ultimate. Then she has 119 AoE fire magic damage, 152 if above 7% HP, and a tier 2 self agility buff for 12 seconds. Now the only issue I have with this is they're both not AoEs, so you might use a different Megumi every now and again, but this is pretty much going to be the de facto Megumi when she comes out. I don't really see people using other ones unless, you know, the enemy resists fire. But other than that, very, very good skills. Just an optional party buff. I think, I don't remember the percentage. I'm pretty sure it's 9. Let's look into it. Anyway, she has a optional party buff to boost more magic. Pretty good. Regardless of that, it's mostly just her kit we're looking at, and she is extremely, extremely good. Still really great on the JP version. I think there are a couple of Megumis. It pretty much just depends on what arena is up, what the best Megumi is. But I'm sure on the global version we'll be using this one for a long, long time. Next up is Wiz. I'm skipping Chris just because I want to talk about Wiz real quick. Wiz, unfortunately, is not as great as I want her to be. She does 97% water magic damage, 120 if target is debuff, and a small self heal. Pretty normal Wiz stuff. Then she has 117 single target water magic damage, 150 if target is debuff, and a tier 3 magic defense debuff for 12 seconds. This is going to sound kind of like Kazuma. And then she has a 179 single target water magic damage, 242 if the target is debuff, and a self tier 2 magic attack buff. Now, the issue I have with this is her ultimate already does the magic defense down and then slows them down. Then the tier 2 magic attack buff is cool, but it's only for herself. So she pretty much falls into the same shoes as Kazuma, as she's only doing damage, when someone else who does it better comes out, she's not going to be as good. I also think Konosuba is better because 3 things. 1, his ult charges faster, so you're gonna get it off more. He has an agility buff, so even though he won't have his skills ready, his basic attack is going to be doing a lot of damage. And Wiz can't be healed by normal means, so if, you know, something happens, you can't just automatically heal her, you have to use a basic and hope. Wiz still has an incredibly good unique weapon, but her skills unfortunately are not going to be the greatest, and I'm pretty sure she's in contention to be the worst legendary unit on the JP version alongside Darkness. Not too sure who exactly is the worst on that one, but they are pretty bad, unfortunately. So she is going to share the same fate as Konosuba. I know Konosuba is really good, but personally I'm going to put them in the same tier because I have the same issues with them. Still, when they come out, they're going to pretty much be the meta for a while. I'm not too sure if Wiz will beat the water trio. I'll have to see, but they are still going to be really strong. And then last but not least, we have the farthest off one, thankfully, because she is tied, if not the best unit in the game on JP version, and that is Chris. Chris goes in a tier of her own. Honestly, if I had to rank it a bit better, I'd probably do this. I'm not saying these units are bad, I'm just saying Chris is just that much better. But Chris does 105% win physical damage in a tier 1 physical defense debuff for 6 seconds. So debuffing the enemy, pretty nice. So it's not just giving her a damage boost or whatever. Then she has a 112 single target win physical damage, 143 target is debuffed. I mean, they're probably going to be debuffed considering she's attacking and has a debuff. And a party tier 2 agility buff for 10 seconds. Party tier 2 agility buff is very, very nice. Then we have a 161 single target win physical damage, 215 if the target is debuffed. Like I said, probably always going to be debuffed. And a party 4-second cooldown reduction. As I said with Aqua, that is very, very strong. Use that before the first skill, and you are, use the other skill and then the cooldown reduction, and then you're cooking. And then her AX skill is if they're debuffed, you do more damage. Very, very good. Also, Chris has the attack up ult and then a slow ult, so you're pretty much going to have speed up and slow going at the same time, or if you need her to give your characters an attack buff, she can do that too. Very, 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 very good. She's just, I just can't wait to use her. She's going to be extremely strong. Of course, she is the farthest away, so you don't have to worry about her quite yet, but it is a good idea to start thinking about that. But other than that, that is going to be it for the video. This is where I'd rank them. Like I said before, I'm not saying they're bad, but, you know, in the scope of things compared to the other legendary characters, that's where I think they are. I'll probably make this again after all these come out and I get to use them a bit. Other than that, let me know your thoughts in the comments, who you're most excited for to come out between Chris, Wiz, and Megami. And yeah, I'll catch y'all in the next Konosuba video. Thanks for watching.